Jesus, the risen Jesus, does 4 things that changes the lives of his disciples forever. And because he's the risen Jesus, he can do the very same things to us. He answers the doubts of their minds by arguing with them. He satisfies the needs of their hearts by eating with them. He reforges the direction of their lives by sending them. And then he shows them his hands and his feet. He says, "Why are you troubled? Why do doubts arise in your minds? Look at my hands, look at my feet. It is I, touch me." Repeatedly, he's arguing with them because, and here's his point, I'm really raised from the dead. I'm not just spiritually raised from the dead. You're not just having a spiritual experience. I'm really here. I'm bodily here. I'm physically here. The resurrection is historically true and real. I have literally, physically, historically risen from the dead. That's got to come first. If you don't get this down, if you don't let him argue with your mind and deal with your doubts about the resurrection, he can't do anything else in your life with the resurrection. Modern people, of course, have a great deal of trouble with this. This is typical of people to say, these are fictional accounts. These are accounts written many years later, and they're written by people who wanted everyone to believe that Jesus was raised from the dead. If you were going to make up a story about the resurrected Jesus Christ, you would never make up a story like this. Never. You might have Jesus, some luminescent, radiant Jesus bursting through the doors, and everyone going like this. But instead, what have you got? Would you, if you were making up a story, would you do this? He just appears in their midst and says, "Do you have anything to eat?" Now let's look how magnificent. Look what a faith-building experience. And they gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he ate it. Seriously, if you were making up a story about the resurrected Jesus, you just wouldn't say things like this. Why would this be there? How mundane, how odd. You see, how completely uninspiring. Why would that be there? And the only right answer is, if you're reading literature, is it must have happened. I mean, why else would you put it in? Legends are not like this. So no matter how much they might have longed for him, they never would have imagined it unless it happened. It's almost like these first eyewitnesses are saying, look, you can call us liars, or you can believe us and come into a whole new world. But don't tame what we're saying. Don't tame it. Don't say, oh, these are just wonderful symbolic stories. These people were kind of mythologically oriented and they love to talk about this. Don't tame it. This happened. Call us a liar or believe us, but don't you dare tame what we're telling you. Jesus says, I was dead, but not anymore. Because I'm resurrected, you can have me. You can really have me. You don't have just a kind of vague way in which the presence of Jesus is with me. You can really have me. Not just have some vague chicken soup of the soul kind of, words of Jesus inspire me. You can have me, really have me. He completely reorients the whole direction of their lives by sending them out. You will be my witnesses. You are witnesses of these things. That's a very interesting word. What he's saying is, I want you to go out and live in the world completely shaped by what you've seen. Once you know the resurrection, once you know that God has raised Jesus from the dead physically, that God is going to renovate the whole world. This is just the beginning. He's going to cleanse the material world. of all of its blemishes, all of its brokenness, of all of its flaws, and of all disease and death and imperfection. Once you know that, he says you must live as witnesses, which means everything in the world, your whole life in the world, is utterly shaped by the resurrection. He showed them hands and feet. Look at my hands and my feet. And you see what the response is? Joy and amazement. Now, why did he do that? Why didn't he say, look at my eyes? Well, look at me. Why did he say hands and feet? What were on his hands and feet? And why, if his body was glorified, would they still be there? Why would the nail prints be there? Let's answer it by asking you another question. What are the very best stories? We all love happy endings. And a happy ending story is bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. Happy ending, and unexpected, unlooked for, but happy ending. And we like that. All the bad things, in spite of the bad things, something good. Look at my hands and my feet. I will show you, when I finally meet you in our resurrection embrace, that all the things you thought had ruined your life had really saved it. Just like the same things that you thought had ruined my life saved it. Just like the things that you thought were ruining your life saved it. When you get to the end and the joy just grabs you and you cry with joy, it's just a glimpse of a joy beyond the walls of the world. But this is the joy that's just a glimpse of. Resurrection. If you believe it, if you listen to him arguing, if you agree with him that he really, 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 really was raised from the dead, let him come into your life with resurrection power. He can do all that for you.